Conscious collaboration brings together entrepreneurs, changemakers, and thought leaders. We aim to highlight the people that embody the idea of aligned mind, body, and business. Each week, we share, discuss, and learn from the various experiences and ideas of our guest experts. Through our discovery, we find a path to an aligned mind, body, and business.
What up, guys? This is Emily.
And I'm Lisa, and we are the Conscious Collaboration.
Yes, we is.
Got my name right that time, even.
I don't have my yeehaw voice today. I have my 1-900 voice today from
Yes.
Roller Coaster.
Yeah.
Roller Coaster raspy.
Yeah, that was really cute. It looked like you were having a good time. What was the name of that park that you said was nostalgic?
Well, both of them are, but so it's the new park of Universal Studios called Epic Universe. And I sent you the videos, one of the so it's kind of cool actually, because they have each little theme land has a portal going into it. So it really does feel like, I mean, they did a great job with the aesthetics. And it really does feel like with each portal, you're like transported into a whole different universe. And one of them is Mario Super Nintendo Land. So you just walk in and you hear the music, and there's all the
so exciting
around, and then a sub little land from that land, you walk through another little portal and you're in Donkey Kong land. And
so cool.
So it really was. It was super cool. And then we went to the OG park, Islands of Adventure, the next day, which is my personal favorite, and they have Jurassic Park.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, which is always my favorite. So if you've never gone and hung out with dinosaurs and done crazy roller coasters at 8:00 in the morning, I 10 out of 10 recommend.
Oh my gosh. Well, you had me at Portal. I love the whole like Mario, like were you able to like jump, was it like jumping on mushroom caps, or like what was the thing?
Well, they might have that. We didn't do every aspect of it because we were trying to hit all the main rides. Olivia's in her roller coaster era, so we wanted to hit all the main rides, and there was definitely a lot more wait times in that first park because it was Saturday and it's the newest park and everything. So we did like a Yoshi little, it's not a roller coaster, it's like a little train.
It's a train.
Kiddie, yeah, it's a kiddie ride, but you kind of get the views of the whole space, and you definitely see like the mushrooms and all of that. And they have a lot of the little boxes
that you can punch through.
Photo ops and punch the boxes and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so cool.
It really was.
So it's like just as much for the parents and the grandparents as it is for...
I think so. If you're in our age bracket where we grew up, and Mario 3 in particular was like my childhood.
So do you feel like, recharged in some ways that you were like playing and...
Yeah, it was definitely, even though, I'm physically tired just from like I was telling you about beforehand, we got like 40,000 steps in 2 days. The heat was absolutely brutal. So that, is kind of exhausting in and of itself, and then bookending it with a couple of heavy lifts. So physically exhausted, but yeah, that type of energy, just being able to play and have fun for like 48 hours straight is just awesome. It's just good for the soul, And we were, the age that she's at, we were really just on the same page with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We enjoyed the same stuff, and I still enjoy roller coasters and do really well with them. I will say that the Harry Potter ride in Islands of Adventure, which is great. The visuals are great, and I've done it before. I almost puked on that one because it's like it's one of those like 3D kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And the little
Tilting.
car like flips you a lot and you're spinning.
Mhm.
And if I'm in the real world doing that, I'm cool. But I was like I was having to bring in my deep breathing exercises because I kind of got in, at this point we're in blasting AC and I can feel myself
Yeah.
hammy and like sweaty. And I'm like, oh shit, like, please God, do not let me puke on this ride.
Oh
That would
no.
not be good.
Or
So
pass out.
closing my eyes. I think I wouldn't rather do either, but I would think if I had to, would you rather? I think I would rather pass out than have like puke flying all over the
Yeah.
place, right?
Yeah.
So I made it and I just had to sit for a few minutes and kind of get regrounded. I'm like, I don't feel so good. But it was worth it.
Aw.
Did not puke. I regrouped and then we did water rides. So all
Oh,
together
that's so fun.
and yeah, we just got to park the car and kind of just play. And we
Hmm.
talk about that a lot, bringing in that childlike,
Yeah.
joyous energy. And it really just was the whole time.
Yeah. I think that's so important, especially just how we were referencing all the sticky energy and
Hmm, hmm.
to be able to disconnect from that and do the, the playing. I had the kids this past weekend too. And yeah, like you said, even with the heat, there's like this heat dome or I think that's what they're calling it, heat dome that's across
Hmm.
it. Yeah, that's the new word of terror. But so we were fine. We did outside stuff and like the, playing and that's so helpful to be able to disconnect from any of the noise or um, you know, any kind of existential or attachment to anyone else's concerns or worries or any of the other things that you see. So it was neat. We did a little bit of exploring on a hike and around some Native American burial grounds and 727, which is the area
Oh,
code.
I did it, right? The drone thing.
We didn't, that got rained out.
Mhm.
So we did not do that. But I think also we would have just been too wiped out to do the drone. I do want to see that, but I think for little kids to stay up and to do that would have been hard.
Yeah.
But we did go to the St. Pete Pier and do the playground and the play, and they have bands. And, I let the kids run in their clothes through
The splash pad.
the splash pad. Yeah. So that was fun. I mean, but yeah, I was really grateful, like you said earlier, just to be able to acclimate yourself to heat and not rely so much on the air conditioning this time of year is really important, or else you're just not going to be able to go outside at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I was looking around at, out of state people, out of the country people, and people who were, visibly not in the best of health and going like, oh God, are you
Mhm.
okay? Like, this is rough.
Yeah.
No breeze to speak of,
Oh, yeah. There's no breeze out there.
um, and Islands of Adventure has several water rides, which we definitely partook in, but the new park on Saturday really doesn't have any water rides to kind of break it up. So it was rough. I was really glad that I have my sauna experience and that I kind of you know intentionally will take these like short midday walks from time to time
Mhm.
to keep my body acclimated because it is
Yeah.
brutal. But it's actually really good for you if you can,
Yeah.
give yourself those little brief hormetic stressors
Yeah.
and take the heat, so to speak.
Yeah. No, I'm really grateful for that too. And I noticed like the people that were outside at the pier. I mean, we did have the breeze, the sea breeze, and that type of thing. But where we live, everybody's very well acclimated and like we can get away with wearing what we're going to wear to the beach.
Yeah.
That's really great. But, just a good reminder that it's important to start acclimating for weather or extreme weather the beginning of the year and work up to it.
Yeah.
So, what do you say we do an energy check-in and then we can just flow into some conversation based on that?
Let's do it.
Yes. What is Steve saying is going on astrologically? Have you heard anything lately?
No, I actually just watched him for the first time yesterday in a while, but it was just my little Gemini reading, and he didn't really go into the astrology. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, me either. So, and maybe it'll come to me. Maybe I'll remember. But there was just so much. There's so much going on. I can't keep track of it all. So I just focus on what I know. What I know.
Yeah, and what's going on,
Yeah, but I do sense like a shift
in our world. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have been hearing things. I just get a sip of my.
Well, we're in the thick of Mercury retrograde, aren't we?
We are.
Other things.
Yeah, and it's just so frequent to be in Mercury in retrograde that we've been talking about it between us for so long. Like we know that. But we're coming up on a new moon. I think it's a new moon in Aquarius, I think, right? Or is it full moon in Aquarius this month? I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in Leo season. We know that. But yeah, it does feel like there's a shift from what I'm hearing. The past 14 days has very much been like, well, I thought I already healed past something, and then it represents in like the biggest way ever. And you're like, what? Why is that? So that's the experience I've been hearing from people. I did quite a few I Ching readings and energy work. And it was really interesting. I got a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs, really not abandoning their entrepreneurship or their business or anything like that, but rather they seem to be shifting into something. The card of revolution came up. Energy of revolution came up quite a few times. So really going into uncharted territory, going into a different direction, and following connections. So I'm really impressed by the people that I've been reading for lately because they're coming up with some amazing ideas. But in one sense, those ideas came after a period where they were like, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel. And then within hours, they're like, oh my gosh, I feel so compelled to do this. And now that's their mission. So that was pretty cool. I did set up a little local design sessions for the community, and which was fun. It was a collaboration, me and a friend, and so we were making ourselves accessible in the local co-working place where people come in and do mini sessions with us. And what was interesting is more people came in for the energy work than the design. So it was like they felt like they needed to figure out their energy first before they could commit to the direction of the design. So, and most of them were business owners. And so it was really interesting just to see who walked through the doors, and really amazing people there. We should record there sometime, by the way.
Yeah. Okay. I think a lot of this that you're saying energetically relates to Uranus and Gemini. Kind of the shake it up, can feel chaotic, really forced revolution and change in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That you can kind of either thrive in or get lost in.
Yeah.
But if you're open to it, then it can present all kinds of new perspectives and ways of shifting things. So embrace it because we're in it for a while, like 8 years or something. So
Yeah, I think it's like this is you're right. I did hear this is like the taste or the precursor of what the next 7 years looks like.
mhm.
Really starting in 2026. So some of the like trickling of the way things are going to look are introducing themselves to people right now. So you're right. I did hear that. I wish I understood it, but it makes sense. Uranus and Gemini too.
Mhm.
Um, that's really cool. So maybe a little bit more will come out. Let's check in and see what is the general energy around our listeners and the conscious collaboration today. Yeah, and also like remember that like really strong vibe where we checked in last week on just like taking out the trash or it's going to consume you, distract you.
Mhm.
So that was funny. I was generating some images to share and I didn't share them because I got caught up in something else. But all of my images were of people holding trash bags.
I mean,
I was
that was
like,
a big
oh,
chunk of the conversation.
I was like, thanks, AI bot. I don't know if I really want to put a giant bag of trash on my feed, but I appreciate that. So where the general energy came out for what is the general energy around the conscious collaboration collective and what do we need to know moving forward in the coming week so we can move forward with clarity and ease. Okay, so the energy around the conscious collaboration, our collective listening to us at this moment, what is the energy of 62, attention to detail.
Okay.
And then what do we need to know in the next week so we can move forward with clarity and ease is the story of 38, diverging interest. And there's quite a few change lines here. So if people are feeling a little uneasy, a little bit pressure in a sense, it comes from the top down. So attention to detail being, so there's 64 hexagrams. This is towards the end of a cycle. And it's a story of thunder above, mountain below. It says ambitious undertakings are not quite in order, but attention to small matters brings decent progress. Such is the case for a person whose resources are meager, but who through modesty and perseverance eventually rises to accomplish great things. So you might feel a little bit struggling. This is like the divine, there is a divine message in this or from your highest self. So really keeping in mind for yourself, your intentions, don't let them wander. An early key to success is to avoid pretentious ambitions and grandiose goals. The power of the small is served by slow and steady advancement and succeeds through an honest acceptance of its own limitations without reservation. Does that make sense to you?
I think so.
Yeah. So I think one thing, and if we're speaking again to entrepreneurs, change makers, and thought leaders, is it's hardest for us to step out of our visionary role and get into like the details and the doing. It's easier for us to imagine and to attach ourselves to a grand vision. But so it says that you can achieve success even with a few resources at this time. It's just important to know your role, attend to the details, and act with humility. So accepting that there's limitations in some regard, and that may look different for you or me and anybody listening. So paying attention to the small things is actually going to put you more in alignment with success than off shooting these big ideas and making big sweeping. You can have your big ideas, change and goals, but now it's time to start doing the doing. Coming from the top, it says, at a time when details are particularly important, returning to the comfortable ground of broad visions brings misfortune. Quite literally just said that. This is more poetic, though. If you attempt overly ambitious undertakings when only small opportunities are available to you, bad luck will result. Overshooting the mark, whether due to pride or inattention, is like a plane coming in for a landing with the wrong readings, making it likely to crash. Take things one step at a time and pay attention to details. So that's the big, like, highest self, divine intervention message coming that doesn't come every time. So
I got like the Price is Right vibes.
yeah.
Like, get it right without going over.
Oh, yeah.
Get it as close as you can without going over.
That's a good reference. Yeah. So, if things are, and the I Ching, the translations are always like overly dramatic because it's talking about the cycles of nature. So it says, when danger lurks, the wise take precautions. They do not consider even the smallest matters above their concern. So this isn't the time to say, like, oh, that's small potatoes. I'm not going to worry about that right now. This isn't the time to do that. Even if you feel on a normal basis it would be petty, these are the details that will pave the way for escape during a time of crisis. So I think if you reflect back to any conversations we've had with any of our guests or between us, taking on new ventures can sometimes feel like jumping out of a plane, right?
Building your entrepreneurship is like jumping out of a plane and building your parachute on the way down.
Building your parachute on the way down. Yeah. So you really have to pay attention to the details or your parachute's not going to. Do not allow pride to delude you into a false sense of security. Pay attention to your surroundings before someone sneaks up behind you. So these details are going to help you know the shortest and safest way to chart your course. So, and then we get down to interpersonal and internal. So there's quite a few change lines here. So that's when we start to feel a little bit pressury. When you are denied access to those who control your fate, you have little choice but to accept the situation philosophically while working diligently to earn notice in the future. Restraint in difficult situations foreshadows success in the future. So that's going to mean something different to everybody, whether that's a microscopic or a bigger level. It could be, systemic. It could be referring to credit or loans or laws or business entities. And then talking about the internal, a baby bird meets misfortune by trying to fly from the nest prematurely. The small must attain a certain stature before making even the most preliminary advance. A willingness to attempt tasks too quickly invites unfortunate consequences. Stick to basics for the moment and make security a priority. That might mean like planning to fill your pockets with the ingredients to make your parachute before you jump out of the plane and figuring it out on the way down. Interesting. It references the baby bird that tries to fly the nest because we were talking about the parachute analogy. In the
coming hurricane kits ready too.
Oh yeah, get the hurricane kits ready. Mm-hmm.
If you're a local-ish listener.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. You should say that too. I mean, there's a lot of entrepreneurs gathering to hurricane-proof their businesses. I mean, honestly, that should have started 8 months ago.
Yeah.
But it's never too late to start. It just probably would have been better to start hurricane proofing a while ago. So keeping in mind in the coming week that there's some level of estrangement indicated. And it gives the reference to families. For example, when brothers and sisters choose partners and marry, they often grow apart since their allegiances prioritize new families. Though they will remain close enough to deal with problems and interests related to their original family, they are less likely to undertake great projects together. Simply put, when people grow apart, even for the most natural of reasons, their points of view, values, interests, and schedules diverge. So keep in mind the drifting apart of different relationships and whatever that means to your situation. The divergence of interests. So opposition can also take the form of healthy competition. Be on the lookout for that. So healthy competition, whatever that can mean, when it is recognized as a part of natural order of things. Good fortune is still possible coming into the next week. So it made me think of, working with a group of people, having a healthy competition to achieve goals for the company is really good. The company, the brand, the service. When diverging interests make a situation seem stagnant or futile, remember that there are always creative possibilities inherent in polarities. One is reminded of the interplay of opposites, yin and yang, and that's pretty easy to picture as you look at relationships, who's yin, who's yang. Each of you has the other in a smaller form within. But however, if there's an interest that has opposition in areas of principle, it's important to hold on to your integrity and your individuality. Let go of vulgar or self-absorbed people who do not share your values. With both people and companies, one measure of stature is the quality of one's competition. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we're still taking out a little bit of the quote unquote trash, taking a look at relationships and interplay and necessity of different relationships as it relates to whatever it is that you have pictured in your mind. Is that what you gathered from it too?
Yeah, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, the polarity and the yin and yang is such a necessity. I think about that like in my feng shui school, in my business, there's, that's a necessary energy to have to feel like that, like momentum going. I think it
very Gemini elements to that energy too, kind of always embracing that duality, even if one, tends to be more pronounced than the other, which it generally is, never, letting it get so out of balance that you can't access whatever the opposite energy is and everything in between.
Yeah. I think also when you were saying that, it makes me think too the importance of, before you throw everybody away because they're not doing things your way, is because a little bit of you, there's a little bit of their energy within you, is to try to see things in their perspective and maybe evolve or like grow in that a little bit. And just to be aware of like how your energy may be impacting them.
Yep. Yeah. I mean that's part empathy, and that's really, and we've had discussions on this, that's really applicable to a lot of what's going on right now, and in particular in the social and political sphere, and people being so polarized, and how that's just not really effective for moving forward in a harmonious way. uh, regardless of kind of what's going on. But if you can embrace that idea of, hey, maybe I won't ever understand this person, but maybe I can try. And
Mhm.
just for the fact of trying to see it from a different perspective and say, okay, why might somebody look at
Yeah.
something so differently than what I do, even if you don't come to the same conclusion that they do. I think just that exercise is valuable in
Yeah.
moving us closer to something more harmonious and less stressful.
Yeah. I mean, it takes me back to like relationship counseling ideas too. Is like
Mhm.
really realizing that in any relationship, holding that you're a team working towards
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
common goal, you
Yeah,
might,
like, are you trying to win the argument, or are you
yeah,
trying to understand
right,
the other person?
right, exactly. And also just appreciate that the intentions are good. So if
Yeah.
you have that connection, it's still salvageable and you can still have a common ground to talk, talk through. And it is that like small, micro level doing that's going to push the momentum forward.
Right, and watching especially in the context of relationships, when you are in the place of disagreement and not understanding, uh, being mindful that you don't take it to a level of disrespect, because then,
Yeah.
uh, you
Yeah.
know, once you've kind of crossed that line, it's tough to go back and then
Yeah.
not and then understand or come to an agreement.
Yeah. I like that, what you said, just what's more important, being right or the partnership, the relationship.
Well, I definitely didn't make that up, but
It must
I
have
am
come from
not a
like a
relationship
goddess
expert.
man or
Uh,
yeah. No, but you've been in lots of relationships, but that applies to everything. Yeah.
yeah, it does. It applies to everything. It even applies, I think, to the social and political aspect of
Absolutely. Yeah. It's all intertwined and
and just communication in general, in whatever application you're talking about. Once you cross that line of respect and disrespect, then your message is gone.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's that.
Nobody's gonna be open to receiving a message once they've felt, disrespected.
Disrespected or manipulated.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. I think that's really good. Gosh, if only we were as wise 30 years ago.
That would be super weird.
Yes, that would be.
Just like a wise little kid. I guess our kids do that sometimes. Like, what
Oh
the
my
fuck
gosh,
did you
they
just
do.
say? Who taught you that?
Yeah. Well, they're listening to us all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, they hear us talking and they're watching what we're doing and how we um, deal with misunderstandings or setbacks and work through them. And that's why they're so wise. It's really creepy. Kids are creepy
It's super creepy.
in the cutest way, but yes.
The younger and wiser you are, the creepier you are.
Yes. I know. That's yes.
Follow
So
us for more parenting tips.
yeah, man. Yeah, we need to bring back in some more parenting stuff with the back to school year on top of everything coming.
Creepy and toxic kids.
Yes, just want to do a check-in. Selfishly, but for the content of everybody, I'm sure there's others listening that are considering that as well too. It's
Mhm.
always good to do that check-in. It's an important part of it.
Yeah.
So important part of our legacy building and yeah, especially when the kids are so just aware of everything even more than we were growing up.
Yeah. Thanks, internet.
Yes, thanks.
Appreciate that.
All right. Well, I feel like I'm going to pay a lot of attention to the small things today
Yeah.
and the little ways to connect, even if there's disparaging or disagreements.
Don't sweat the small stuff, but pay attention to it.
Yeah, you can diverge in your interests, but moving towards a commonality. So, well, sounds good. Well, what do you say we take it inside of the Conscious Collaboration Collective, our closed and private Facebook group?
I say yes. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you inside there. Thanks everybody for listening and sharing our podcast with friends and families and coworkers. And we'll talk to you in 5.
Talk to you in 5. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank y'all so much for listening to our podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends so they can join our circle of collaboration on this journey. You can find us on Instagram at Conscious Collaboration Podcast, on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible, to name a few. Please join us next time for another deep dive into how you can live life in more alignment, mind, body, and business. Send us your questions and comments in our DMs or email us at consciouscollaborationpodcast@gmail.com. See you in 5 minutes.